And welcome into episode 6 of the Pigcast. Ben Kinney and Zach Case with you here, following another couple great races at Charlotte, ending out NASCAR's few races at Charlotte. Now we move on to more regular schedule. Zach, what were your thoughts?
Oh, dude, I definitely liked the racing. I thought it improved once we got deeper into the week. The truck race was really good. I didn't get too many laps in to watch, but then I also thought the Cup race Wednesday night was better. It was better more than a regular Charlotte race, but I think it was good racing, and I'm happy NASCAR's back, and we get to move into all of this racing stuff.
Absolutely. All right, let's get right into that Truck Series race. The North Carolina Education Lottery 200 the other night at Charlotte. I believe that was Wednesday night's race at Charlotte. Nope, it was not Wednesday night, was it? It was the
It was no, it was Tuesday.
26th.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. And Chase Elliott coming out and getting the bounty on Kyle Busch, coming out with a big win for the Truck Series, which would start out a big couple of races for him. And we'll get more into that later. What other notable results did you see out of this race, Zach?
Zane Smith is something I want to talk about. He's an up and coming driver in the GMS racing group for Chevy. I definitely see him being a NASCAR potential guy. He finished third, Brett Moffitt fourth, also a series regular. This is only the third race of the season for the truck guys, so kind of just getting back into the flow of things. A lot of season left. Ty Majeski with a top 10 in the 45 track. And then the guy that started on the pole, Ben Rhodes, in the 99, he finished 10th. Another guy, Ross Chastain, 42. Another entry with the watermelon truck, he finished 11th. So a lot of different notables. I'm still looking. Oh, Timmy Hill, the guy that raced with Kyle Busch in all these races, he finished 22nd. I don't know what team he was running for, but he was running in the 56 truck. So yeah, that's. Oh, and then Matt Crafton finished 35th, a Truck Series champion. So I don't know
Yeah.
if he had
Wow.
problems. I missed. Maybe he had a truck problem, malfunction with the truck. Oh no, it says he was running. So obviously, he did not finish on the lead lap. So
No,
all I have to say.
that is weird. Um,
He finished. He led laps too. He led 6 laps in his
Yeah,
race.
he
So
did. And I'm also reading a note here on the side that the 51 truck of Kyle Busch did have one lug nut not safely secured in the post race check. So crew chief Danny Stockman Jr. will be fined for that. Just to add that in. All right, who did you have for your improver for this race, Zach?
I had to go with Ross Chastain. You know, he won stage one, a guy that's racing right now in all three series, still looking for that full-time cup job, basically racing for his racing career right now with whatever company or team he can find. Obviously, a personality. I think he's a good racer. He raced Kyle Busch hard in the Xfinity Series race at Charlotte. So I think obviously a guy that's improving, a guy that could have won the truck championship last year. And I think he's got good chances of getting some race wins in under his belt and then maybe getting an Xfinity title. Who knows? But I thought he had a great race. Who'd you have?
I had Sheldon Creed, contender for the rookie of the year, the Sunoco Rookie of the Year award in the Gander Outdoors series, starting in 22nd, or excuse me, 21st, working his way up, getting a top 5 finish in his first run at Charlotte. I believe that would be correct. Yeah, in one of his first runs at Charlotte, a 2019 Rookie of the Year contender, racing for GMS Racing. So only in his second full-time season with the Truck Series, won the ARCA Racing Series championship a couple years ago in 2018. 20 starts in that season, 18 top 10 finishes, 7 Truck Series starts, 5 or 1 top 5 and 2 top 10. So this is only going to be his second top 5 finish in his career for Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, definitely a great driver and a guy that you're going to see be in the sport moving forward. But yeah, let's dive in now to our front runners. You are slated to go first, so I'll let you go ahead with your pick.
All right, I chose the race winner, Chase Elliott. Obviously, having a strong race, starting 26th, working his way up through the field. Hasn't run much in the Truck Series this year, I don't believe. So, leading 47 laps, and then coming out with the win and I believe it was $100,000 bounty. It was $100,000 bounty on Kyle Busch. That was offered to any full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver who could beat Busch. The last time that Elliott had competed in a Gander outdoors Truck Series race was the year I graduated high school, 2017. So it's been almost 3 years since he last competed in the Truck Series.
And in 2017, I was a sophomore in high school. So that just shows how old Ben is. But yeah, let's dive
Thanks.
into my pick. I'm going to go with a guy that's much younger. What year were you born in?
98.
98. So this kid
Yep.
that's currently racing in the Truck Series, born in 1999. I'm going to go with Zane Smith. I already talked about him a little bit during the race recap. But let's dive into his results so far this season before I, of course, finished third last race. Las Vegas got 6th, Daytona just outside the top 10 and 11th. So a guy racing for GMS last season, or excuse me, in 2018, he run the 54 truck for DGR Crossley. One race, got a top 5. So a guy that obviously knows how to drive the car. He hasn't really been in a full-time position in any of the top series until this year, obviously for GMS. Last year he raced for Juniors Motorsports in the 8 car, that part-time car that raced every once in a while. 24th Las Vegas. But I'll go through. That was his first race ever in Xfinity. We'll dive into some other results. Top 5 at Iowa, and then I think 5 top 10s. So obviously a guy that knows how to drive the car. Still looking through most of his results. 2018, he raced in the ARCA series. Just some background on him. So I think this kid, if he's staying in the Chevy camp moving forward, definitely might take over Noah Grayson's spot if Noah Grayson moves up into the Cup Series in the 48 car next season. I can see him staying in the Junior Motorsports camp and then possibly going maybe RCR, maybe a team in the Cup Series moving forward. I don't think Hendrick will have room for him if he does bring his talent to the Cup Series. But obviously, I think this kid will have a future in NASCAR. So good results from him, and I can't wait to see what he brings to the rest of the season.
Good to see, and thanks for making me feel old. All right,
Sorry,
now switching
my
gears.
apologies.
Not a problem. Switching gears now into the Cup Series. The Alsco 400 was supposed to be on Wednesday night. That was rained out until Thursday. So we raced under the lights on Thursday. Let's just first, before we get into the race results, let's look at qualifying. Last week for the Coca-Cola 600, you saw Chevy dominating the qualifying field. This week, all Fords. 6 out of the top 10, so 60% of the cars in the top 10 were Fords. You had Michael McDowell in third, which qualifying third for Michael McDowell, I believe they may have been pulling out of doing the random draw again.
It was invert, I think. So
Oh,
I don't know if the top 20 were. I think no. It was 21 through whatever inverted. So obviously William
okay.
Byron being in 21st got the pull. But it just shows the lack of speed Ford had
Oh,
off
yeah,
the
yeah.
bat at Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 600. One thing to point out there. Sorry to steal your motive there. I
You're
just
good.
wanted
You're good.
talking, but I really like this format of no qualifying with the invert. I think it show. I don't know. I don't know what's your take on the no practice, no qualifying. I think maybe bring in practice. But the fact that you have some good racing right away in stage one, because obviously faster cars in the back, they got to pass some of the slower cars in the front. So I think it brings drama into the race. Like you see Kyle Busch racing up through the field, and like stuff and drivers like that, Mark Truex Jr., etc. So yeah, I really like this format. I know obviously we're in some tough times in the country and with the pandemic and stuff. So obviously this is the system we're going with, but I wouldn't mind every once in a while we do this moving forward. I think it like for tracks like Charlotte, for tracks that really don't have good racing action, this is the format we use maybe.
Yeah, I would like to see it for some tracks. I don't think it would be good as a permanent fixture just because you go to a track like Daytona and Talladega, you have to have these practice sessions to test out the drafting conditions, to test out your aero package, to make sure everything's good and get a feel of the car. Because these tracks are monsters of their own. Daytona, Talladega, Dover, pun intended with the monster. Um, these basically super speedways are monsters of their own. You don't really know until you get the car on the track how good it'll be.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely right about that. But yeah, I obviously think it's different, but I don't mind it per se. We'll dive into the stage winners here. Alex Bowman, most stage wins out of any driver this season, getting the stage one win. I don't know if that changed after Joey Logano and Chase Elliott, or after Joey Logano got the stage two win. But at the time that he won that stage, he has the most stage wins. So hats off to him. He's having a hell of a season. But Joey Logano, stage two winner, and of course Chase Elliott taking care of business, finally getting his win that was coming. Obviously, we talked about it in the preview for this race. I think he deserves it. But yeah, go ahead.
I think that I may have predicted him as the winner, if I'm not mistaken.
It's unbelievable. I haven't keep. I think I'm gonna make a list and write
Yeah,
all the winners down. I'll go back and think that, and then
yeah,
next episode we'll give you a count on what the percentages are right now. But I
two for
think I
three
am
right now.
still at a zero.
Yeah,
I don't think I picked Chase Elliott to win the truck race either. So
nope, nope. I am 2 for 3 now. Anyway,
which is unbelievable, but whatever.
it is. All right. So, any other notable results you saw? Obviously, Chase Elliott getting the win, coming back from the heartbreak at the Coca-Cola 600, and the race at Darlington before that. What other notable results did you see coming out of this race, Zach?
Two Toyotas finishing in the top 10. Martin Truex Jr. with a ninth place finish, Denny Hamlin with second place. So obviously Toyota needs to figure their stuff out. Kyle Busch finished close to the back due to that tire problem. He finished 29th, so not really the result you'd like to see from him and his Joe Gibbs racing machine. But obviously, I think Toyotas are a little slow right now. I don't know if their 1.5 package isn't really good for say, but I think moving forward, it will improve, obviously. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I forgot maybe it was Bob Popchris. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter at all, but he said something.
Uh,
He's a Fox Sports guy,
yeah, I
reporter for
might.
NASCAR.
Yeah, I might. I'm not sure.
So it was either him or Dave Gottlieb or something that released a tweet on Twitter saying that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. needed to finish well because he was slipping in the point standings because obviously the past two Darlington races in the 600 he hasn't really had good results. Way to get a top five for that
Yeah.
47 team. Kurt Busch fifth again. I think Chip Ganassi has a lot of speed right now. I don't know where Matt Kenseth's finished. But I feel like we haven't really talked about him as much after that first race. Yeah, 23rd for Matt Kenseth. So
Yeah.
obviously there's something wrong there. Who knows? Maybe he's still getting used to the package, obviously. But yeah, I think that's really what I've got. I don't really have any other things. I think it was tough for Rick Ware Racing right off the bat. Two cars going right to the garage, getting right on the hauler in lap one. That sucks for a small team that's developing. But yeah, that's all I got right now for the results. I don't know if you want. We can hop in the standings if you want to start with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at those because I'm sure things have changed around. I didn't get a chance to look at them. Just pulling them up now. So Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, now Chase Elliott in third place, and he will punch his ticket in to the playoffs. He's now confirmed in the playoffs with the win at Charlotte, as is Bowman, Keselowski, Logano, Harvick, and Hamlin. All will be all are confirmed and have punched their tickets into the playoffs. What other what else are you noticing in these standings?
A lot of Ford drivers, for say, a lot more than I thought I would see. Clint Boyer still in the top. He's currently ranked ninth. Ryan Blaney is now the first driver without a win to be in the chase for, say, based on points. He's in 7th. Kyle Busch moved up to 12th. Austin Dillon is now inside the points in 14th. Matt DiBenedetto still in 13th. Kirsch Busch is still in there. And then Jimmy Johnson, 15th. Eric Jones, 16th. Tyler Reddick, close to basically the points he's like basically right behind Eric Jones. So we'll see if he can be able, and then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. moving back up. John Hunter Nemechek also in 21st, along with Cole Custer. So I know the Rookie of the Year is kind of a big thing this year with a lot of drivers, but I think Tyler Reddick really has sealed the deal so far. But obviously, Cole Custer and Joe Nemechek still have a lot of time, or John Hunter Nemechek.
John Hunter, yep.
Unbelievable. I can't believe I just said that. Don't worry, I'm okay. But obviously, it's the tight race between those three, and I think those two will catch them eventually. But yeah, that's all I got really on the Cup Series. We can dive into the picks now. If you want to go first, you can.
Yeah, I had for my improver, I had JJ Yeley. I mean, he needs to improve. Definitely. You start 21st, you drop back to 34th. And I mean, this season, he's a veteran now. I mean, I have my NASCAR 07 game when he was still driving the 18 car before Kyle Busch took that over. So he has potential. He just needs, again, I think part of it is he needs to get in the right ride. This late in his career, do I think that'll happen? Probably not.
Yeah,
you never know.
Past his prime per se. No, I definitely think he's definitely a staple in the NASCAR community, a guy that's been around a while, but I think he's kind of on the other side of his career now, and maybe getting those big time rides aren't really a thing for him anymore. But yeah, I like JJ Yeley. I've never been against him per se, but yeah, obviously a guy that needs to improve.
All right, you had Martin Truex Jr. Why'd you pick him?
So recently, 4 top 10 finishes for Martin Truex Jr. I think he could be faster, though. I think he's in the top 5 range, but he hasn't got a top 5 finish all season yet. I don't know if that's shocking to you, but it's shocking to me.
Yeah, it is.
Dive into the first 4 races before we got back from COVID-19. Daytona, 32nd. I don't know if he crashed out. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. Las Vegas, 20th. California, 14th. And then 32nd again at Phoenix. So that's a race team that's currently struggling. Of course, you don't have Cole Pern anymore. He's currently done being a crew chief. So that relationship, that duo, kind of like Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson, is no longer per se. But the teams, I think, turned it around. But obviously, they still have another gear that they can shift into that they haven't gotten there yet. So I think this team will get better. Bristol, short track. I don't really remember what his results are there. But Atlanta, he's good at. Martinsville, another short track that I think he's performed well at. Of course, it's always in the chase. Then you go to Talladega. So it's really up in the air. But I think he'll do fine, and I think he needs. I think he'll improve moving forward.
Yeah. All right, going into the front runners pick, I chose Denny Hamlin, of course, starting 29th, working his way through the field. Getting that second place finish, just could not beat Chase Elliott, who had a wicked fast race car leading 28 laps. Of course, Hamlin did not lead a single lap, but still working your way up to second place from 29th. So moving up 27 spots. It's pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. A race team also that's had success this season. Teammates haven't a lot, but obviously a group that has got done so far. My pick, of course, I've already talked about him once again, but I'm going to go back to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And enlighten you guys on how his season's doing. Of course, moving out of Roush Fenway Racing, Chris Buescher and him swap places basically, which is kind of weird for me, to be honest, because let's talk about JTT Daughtry Racing. They used to be a Toyota. I don't know if they've ever been a Ford. I can't remember. But now they're in the Chevy camp under an RCR alliance. But the fact that your pilot driver for Roush Fenway Racing that couldn't be with Roush Fenway Racing due to budget, due to stuff like that, goes to that team. We're talking about Chris Buescher, obviously, and then moves into that spot, and then you swap. So it's kind of weird to me that the manufacturers can't keep it Ford. You'd think that team would go under the Roush group, but they didn't. So a little weird for me, but I don't know what's your thoughts there. But
Yeah, that is pretty bizarre, and it's a big loss to lose Chris Buescher, but Stenhouse has never really been consistent in his performance. I mean, he had his rookie season was probably his best season, and that was easily getting close
2013,
to, yeah, 13. So getting close to 10 years ago now, being his best season. All right, so let's get into the news now. We actually have news this week. More schedule changes being announced. Zach, what have you heard on this?
So recently, the Athletic released an article regarding the July and the end of June and into August schedule for the Cup Series. They haven't released Xfinity Truck Series or ARCA races yet, but I just want to touch on this quickly because in realistic, if you look at the two schedules before everything happened with this global pandemic, they're kind of similar. You got Pocono June 27th, June 28th. They're still doing the back-to-back races.
Okay.
I like that idea, a little shorter, 325 miles and then 350 miles, 130 laps, 140 laps. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with it. I think the Wednesday night races are similar in length, which I don't really mind the length. It's almost like 2 hours, 30 minutes, kind of similar to a basketball game length. I'm a fan of that. So yeah, they're gonna go to Pocono. We got two races there in one weekend. Then you're gonna go 4th of July weekend to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 400 miles there, 160 laps for the big machine Vaca 400 at the Brickyard, powered by Florida Georgia Line. Unbelievable name. That's July 5th at 3:30. Then the next weekend we had Kentucky Speedway for a Saturday night race. I'm happy Saturday night races are back. Let's just say that. I know the Coca-Cola
Yeah.
600 is a little weird, but I feel like I'm just talking everyone's ear off right now. But Quaker Steak and Lube 400, July 11th at 7:30, presented by Walmart. Love Walmart. 400.5 miles. I don't understand why we have to go 400.5. That's a little weird. But 267 laps in Sparta,
What's the
Kentucky.
track length?
Yeah, I guess it's a little different.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Kentucky? Because I have.
I've never been there. No.
Fun fact: I West Coast trip on the way back, we hit Kentucky, and I got a little tour of the gift shop and the track, so that was pretty cool. Then we had to New Hampshire, July 19th. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of New Hampshire at all. I
No.
hate the racing there. I don't
Both.
just. It's a weird track to me, and I don't really think it produces good racing. Besides maybe Brian Vickers winning that one race for Michael
Yeah.
Waltrip Racing.
Do you,
But what'd
have
you
you
say?
ever been? Have you ever been to New Hampshire?
No, my parents have. I've never
I
been there.
have. I
Do you
have.
like it?
Yep.
Am I just being dumb?
It's a miniature Martinsville, basically. It's a scaled down
That's how I
version
feel like.
of
I feel
Martinsville.
like it's a faster Martinsville,
It is.
but at the same time, I don't want to call it a short track. But it races like a short track.
It is a short track. You don't have any bank. You have very little banking on the corners. For all intents and purposes, it's a short track.
But I definitely think it didn't. I don't really think it deserved two races a year. If that makes you feel better of how I'm talking about it, I think it
Yeah,
only deserves one race a year.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I always remember it being. I went to both races, so I went to the July race, one year and saw. Actually, the year after the first race. So the first race I ever went to was 2007, when Kevin Harvick was racing the orange Reese's car
Yeah,
and
that was a
won.
great car. I got that car, I
Yeah,
think. I don't know.
did
We'll
um
find it later.
yeah, I was at that race. I was in like second grade. And then the year after, they were still racing that one, and that was the start of the chase. And they were still racing the Gen 4 cars, I want to say they were.
Great cars, by the
Uh
way.
yes. Then in 2008, I went to the July race where it was Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon going head to head on the final lap, and Hamlin won. Uh, that one they raced car tomorrows. Uh, so I've been to both. It like you said, it's a faster Martinsville,
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
yeah. They
obviously I don't really have anything against it. I just think it's a track that really didn't deserve two races, and I'm
yeah,
sorry
no.
you lost a race, but I don't know. That's just my take. But 301 laps there, going 318.46 miles, by the way.
Mhm.
Then we get into August. The only confirmed race, and I guess NASCAR.com has not updated their website. So
Have
now I'm a
they
little concerned.
have they
Now,
confirmed any of these well, other than
so NASCAR hasn't released it, but the Athletic got
okay.
information from a NASCAR official saying this.
Okay. So it could be they just haven't updated anything.
Yeah,
Um,
because Michigan now has two races.
okay, yeah. I'm seeing that they have the one in on August 9th. And then okay. Yeah, that is bizarre. Uh let's keep going. Again, another one you mentioned was the Glen. We mentioned that a couple weeks ago. Going back to Watkins Glen. And then Labor Day weekend, we go to Daytona, race under the lights for the Coke 400 at Daytona. A little bit of a change there. And then, or I'm sorry, the weekend before Labor Day, we go to Daytona. Then Labor Day weekend, we go to Darlington for the Southern 500. Then we go to Richmond, back to Bristol, September 19th, and then Vegas again. But we start out the playoffs in Darlington, which is kind of cool. I like I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's all confirmed though. That's my
Right,
only
right,
thing.
right.
So I know that like the Athletic released it obviously, and obviously I'm not going to go against them. They're a nice source, but I can't see the article because obviously I'm not subscribed to it.
Right.
So like I'm looking through Twitter to try to find the guy who made it because there's a diagram on it, but I haven't found it yet. So you might have to give me a second.
Okay. Well, let's just move on to Bristol then. The Food City presents the Supermarket Heroes 500. Taking a look at qualifying, Brad Keselowski starting on the pole for that race. Zach, what are the stage lengths for this one?
You're making me pull up that website that I forgot to
You
bookmark.
didn't bookmark it, did you?
I'm a horrible person, dude. I'm looking back in
That was a
history though.
quiz.
So if you wanna move on, you know what I do have? Pit stall selections. That's what I do have.
Do you?
So we can talk about that in a second. But
Go for it.
I'm gonna head back and look through stuff
Okay.
and see if I can
Uh,
find it.
let's get to predictions then. I chose Kyle Busch. Of course, he has a lot of success at this track. Number of wins at Bristol. He's very strong at these short tracks. And I think that he's going to come out with the win again and get his first Cup Series win this season at Bristol.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's a good prediction. Stage lengths, got it up. Got it up. Bookmarking it right now for you.
Good.
Let's go to Bristol. 125 stage one, 250 for stage two. Final 500 laps. I can't wait. I love the Bristol night race. Oh, wait, it's not a night race. I'm dumb. I love the Bristol race in general, though. I love the track. I love the bean and banging. I'm a short track guy. I'm a fan. Let me dive into my prediction. Also, I think we have the starting lineup. I don't know if that's out
Yep,
yet.
I have it right here.
If you want to start talking about it while I pull it up, you can go ahead.
Keselowski for Bristol, you're set for the
Yeah,
Food
500 for
City.
500.
Okay. Keselowski starting on the pole. Wow. And again, we see Fords. I don't know if they did that same thing where they just flipped the field or what. If they, I don't think they actually did qualifying for this one. I'm not entirely
No,
certain,
they
but either
didn't.
way, yeah. So a lot of Fords again. Keselowski, Almirola, Logano, and Blaney.
I think this
Your
was
top.
random. This is definitely
Yeah.
random because
You're
Truex didn't finish in the top 10. He shouldn't be starting there if it was
right.
invert. So
All right. Uh, yep. Blaney running out your top four. Truex, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, DiBenedetto, Hamlin will round out your top 10. Then a pack of Chevys in the middle. Bowman in 11th. Kurt Busch in 12th. William Byron starting 13th. Matt Kenseth starting in 14th. Going down the line, Looking at Ty Dillon, who will have to work his way up. He's starting in 29th. Jimmy Johnson starting in 24th. Clint Boyer in 23rd. So a lot of guys with this random draw going to have to work their way through. But a lot of the more powerful drivers are starting up front, even though this was a random draw, are starting towards the front of the field in the top 20.
Yeah, one thing to point out, Christopher Bell, 35th starting place. So definitely some guys that are going to have to race up through the field. We'll be watching that. Just to point out, the McDonald's Chevy Matt Kenseth's car, love the paint scheme. I think you're going to be a fan of it when you do see it if you haven't already. Diving back into, let's do my prediction. Actually, no. I will do pit stall selections first. Obviously, pit stall selections are based off of the weeks before results. So Chase Elliott will take the number 1 spot. Alex Bowman's pitting in the 3rd pit. Obviously the only reason we're talking about pit stall selections is because there's 2 pit roads. Not a big deal. It's Bristol. Right. But Kurt Busch on the 42nd stall, back on the 1st pit road. And then why is there? Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm dumb. Never mind. Ryan Blaney taking the 1st spot on the 1st pit road, all the way at the end of pit road on the 1st one. For some reason, they are vacating the first 2 spots, 21, 22, on the 2nd pit road right off the bat. So Denny Hamlin will take spot number 20, and he will be the first car on that pit road. Some other notables, Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch and Clint Boyer all in a row on the 1st set. So that's a little different. And then Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Eric Almirola are all tied together on the other side too. So a little different, a little weird.
Good thing to know. All right, so who's your pick for this race?
I'm gonna go with I didn't even pick anyone. Oh my god. No. Oh, let me look. Jeez. You already picked Busch, which is kind of like the obvious pick. It's Bristol. The guy has won so many races in the 3 series here.
Right.
Obviously he's gotten the sweep before multiple times. I'll go with Martin Truex Jr. You know what? Starting off in 5th, a guy that needs to get a win, needs to get a top 5, needs to get his team, just put him on his back and start rolling here. I think this Toyota group needs to show speed. I don't think Martin Truex Jr. Is going to struggle too much on the short track, but I like his selection. Coming off in the 5th spot, I think he'll do just fine. One thing to point out that we didn't touch on in the running order, a new entry for Gray Galding, the Paneve America, the sports car team, or the sports card team.
Yeah, the trading card.
Sponsoring him in the 27 car for Ford. That's a new team that formed, I think, out of Rick Ware Racing again. That the group that they formed together with all the small teams. So cool to see him back in the sport. I remember when he raced in that 23 car with the frog on it. I thought that was pretty funny. And then Garrett Smithley back in the Cup Series again. He will be in the 77 for Spire Motorsports. But yeah, I think we touched Food City 500. I think people are ready to go for that. So if you want to dive into Cheddar's 300, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, let's do that. The Cheddar's 300 presented by Alsco. Going to be June 1st, so that's going to be Saturday.
It got moved.
Monday. I'm sorry, Monday.
So it was originally scheduled for. We're filming on Saturday, right now, but it was originally scheduled for today. But for because of the equipment and stuff, and because the Cup race got pushed back, they're racing on Monday now. So just a little fun there. Keep diving into it. I'll pull up the starting order.
Oh, I have it right here. Harrison Burton on the pole, Brandon Jones, Austin Cindric, Justin Haley, Ryan Sieg, Ross Chastain, Riley Herbst, Daniel Hemrick, Noah Gragson, and Justin Allgaier. That's your top 10. One thing to note is that Joe Nemechek racing once again. He's in the 28th spot. I'm looking. I don't see Kyle Busch in this race. I could just be overlooking. Yeah, I could just be overlooking him. Got Jeremy Clements in the 51 car.
No, wait. You're right. There's no Cup drivers racing in this race.
Yeah,
it is all Xfinity because it's a Dash for Cash race.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know
Ross
why I
Chast.
didn't say that earlier. That should be noted in the
Yeah.
rundown. I'm dumb. I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna have to change my prediction then.
That's why you don't pick one. That's why
Yeah.
you just go with it off the drop. I feel like I picked too early and then I don't get a good selection. Obviously, I'm just taking shots in the dark right now. But yeah, let me throw up the starting order so I actually can pick someone. Oh, actually, I know. When you're ready, I'm ready to go.
All right. I'm going with Harrison Burton. I still think he's gonna get a win, and I think it's gonna be here. He's starting on the pole. And I know it's just like with the Cup Series where they just randomly pull positions, but still, he's starting on the pole. I think he can get it done at a short track.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think Harrison Burns is definitely a short track guy. Uh, One thing I want to point out that's a little cool fun fact for you: there
Hmm.
hasn't been an Xfinity Series winner during this race for many years until last season. So all the current drivers that are in the Cup Series have won this
Hmm.
race when they are in Xfinity. Tyler Reddick last year won the race. He's a Cup driver. Christopher Bell won the race. That was in April. He's a Cup driver. Kyle Larson, obviously, he was a Cup driver, not anymore right now. Ryan Preece is a Cup driver. Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch 3 times in a row.
Yep.
Dominance here. Joey Logano, and then the first driver that's an Xfinity regular that used to be in the Cup Series but was an Xfinity regular at the time, I think, 2012 Elliott Sadler.
Yes, he was. He
So
was an Xfinity
was he
regular.
with Kevin Harvick Racing then, or was he with Junior? Because I know he raced
He
for
was
Kevin
with
Harvick in
Harvick.
that
He
two
didn't.
car,
Yes, he was with
and that
Harvick.
was and they were in the. I
And then
have the
he went to
diecast
One Main
because they were.
Financial.
Yeah,
Yeah, then he
because
went to
they
One
had
Main.
the. Well, he was also with Joe Gibbs Racing too in the 11.
It was after he was with Gibbs.
Yeah, it says he's in a Chevy here. So
Yep,
that's the
he was
first.
with
In
Harvick.
2012 was the last time an Xfinity regular won the race. Just so I don't know if they made it dash for cash
Well,
for a reason, but this is
Sadler was still racing Cup at that time as well.
he. He was a full time Cup driver though.
Yep. In 2012, yeah. He
Geez,
was
so
still he
what
was
about
still
Justin
with
Allgaier back in 2010?
I don't I don't believe so. I think that was before he made his breakthrough into Cup.
So you're telling me 10
10
years.
years.
So,
Yep.
like since a drive, like obviously Kyle Busch in 2010 was back and forth between Cup and Xfinity and everything, and he
Well,
won it. He won an
he did
Xfinity
have the
championship before they made that rule.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but like just to say that the fact that all those guys are in Cup now or have raced in Cup just shows like the it's just crazy. I thought it was a cool
Yeah.
stat to point out.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ross Chastain. He's put a lot of races together, Truck Series, Cup. He of course raced for Roush Fenway in the Cup Series when Ryan Newman needed a filler. I think he's gonna break through, get another win in Xfinity, and take care of business with leaf filter all over that car. So yeah, I'm going with that. I
All
don't know.
right.
I don't know
Well,
if obviously I don't think he's a short track guy, but I'm
no.
gonna go with him.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see if I'm right again or if Zach's right for once. Either way, it'll definitely be an interesting setup for episode 7 coming up next week, where we will recap this race and preview the upcoming race at Atlanta on June 7th. So a week from this Sunday at June 7th. Uh, anything you want to add, Zach?
I think we're gonna go back to the one episode per week this coming week because there's no Wednesday night race,
Right.
obviously. The following week though, we got Martinsville on Wednesday and we got Xfinity races. So I think we'll be back to the 2 week setup that we have been running lately. Uh, I appreciate all the support. Of course, me and Ben do appreciate all the
Absolutely.
support. But yeah, we get a kind of little breather after Monday's race. We'll film, have it out probably Wednesday, and then we'll get a fresh break heading into Atlanta. So I think it'll be a good week ahead.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we will see you right back here when episode 7 of the Pitcast recapping the week's events at Bristol is released. We will see you then. Zach, your Twitter.
Zach K6.
And my Twitter, of course, Ben_Kinney WTOP, and the_Pickcast for the show. We will see you back here next week for Zach Case. I'm Ben Kinney. We'll see you, folks.